You are getting ready for a family dinner. You did your whole face, you feel good, and then your daughter takes a photo and you think, that cannot be me. I have been a makeup artist for 30 years, and I will tell you exactly why that happens. There are 5 products most women over 50 use every single day that are quietly aging them. Not because the products are bad, because they were never designed for mature skin. They cling to dry patches, they settle into smile lines, they turn your face into a flat, powdery mask under real lighting. And your family sees you in real lighting. If you want to look 10 years younger, you need to stop using these 5 things today. Number 5 is the one the industry does not want you to know about, and it may be the most important swap you ever make. Watch till the end. Let us start with the very first thing going on your face every morning, your primer. Most primers marketed toward mature skin are silicone-based. I understand why women reach for them. They feel silky going on. They seem to blur your pores, and for about 10 minutes in the bathroom mirror, everything looks smooth. But here is what happens after that. Silicone sits on top of your skin like a thin sheet of plastic. Your foundation cannot grip onto it properly, so by midday, everything has shifted and started to separate. And on dry or textured skin, which is most of us over 50, that silicone layer grabs onto every flaky spot and every rough patch and makes them more noticeable. You think you are smoothing things out, but your primer is actually giving every bit of texture a front row seat. I stopped using silicone primers on my clients years ago. The swap I recommend is NYX Pore Filler Primer. It is not silicone-based. It is actually hydrating, which means it gives your skin a real layer of moisture before anything else goes on. And when your skin is hydrated, everything you put on top blends more evenly, your foundation does not slide around, your concealer does not bunch up along your laugh lines. Your whole face just holds together better from the first hour to the last. Think of it like prepping a wall before you paint. You would never slap paint on a dry, cracked surface and expect a smooth finish. Same principle with your face. The prep work matters more than people realize. And at this stage of life, a hydrating primer changes the entire outcome of your makeup. This one costs less than $15 at the drugstore, and it is the foundation under your foundation. Now, what you put on next matters just as much. Number 2, your concealer. And this is the product I watch women accidentally age themselves with more than almost anything else on their vanity. When you are dealing with dark circles or a little discoloration under the eyes or some redness around the nose, the instinct is to grab something thick. Full coverage, something that will cover it all up completely. But that heavy formula is doing the opposite of what you want on mature skin. Within the first hour, it starts settling into every fine line under your eyes. It creases along the sides of your nose. And by the time you sit down at that dinner table, instead of looking bright and rested, you have little rivers of product sitting in your creases. And that ages you more than the dark circles ever did. I have been reaching for Maybelline Age Rewind for years, and it stays in my professional kit for a reason. It is lightweight, which means it does not pool into creases the way thicker formulas do. It has a soft sponge applicator at the tip that dabs the product on gently, instead of dragging it across that delicate under-eye area. And that matters more than people think. Dragging a brush or your finger under the eye tugs at the thinnest, most fragile skin on your entire face. Over time, that repeated pulling adds up. But the real reason I keep coming back to this one is the finish. It reflects light. So instead of relying on heavy coverage to hide your dark circles, it brightens the whole area with a soft, natural luminosity. Think about what happens when sunlight hits a clean window at an angle. It glows. That is what a light-reflecting concealer does for the under-eye area on a mature face. I have had clients come back to me 8 hours later, with their under-eyes still looking smooth and clean. For a drugstore concealer at that price point, nothing else even comes close. But this next swap is the one that genuinely shocks most women when I tell them, because it goes against everything you have been doing since your 30s. Number 3, your blush. And I need you to hear this one clearly. If you are over 50 and still reaching for a powder blush compact every morning, you are adding years to your face every single time you open it. Powder blush on mature skin does not blend into your skin the way it used to. It sits on top and looks chalky, almost dusty. And it reads like something you applied to your face, which is exactly the opposite of what makes a woman look youthful. What makes a face look young is color that appears to come from within the skin itself. Like you just came back inside from a long walk on a cool morning, like your cheeks flushed naturally on their own. That warmth, that natural-looking flush is what reads as youth to everyone around you. Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Cream Blush gives you exactly that. You need one tiny dot, seriously, just one. You press it into your cheek with your fingertip, blend it out in small circles, and it melts right into your skin. It never sits on the surface. It becomes part of your complexion. The finish is so natural that people will not say nice blush. They will say you look really healthy today, you look rested, what are you doing differently? And that is the highest compliment in makeup when nobody can tell you are wearing any. This single swap, going from powder blush to a cream formula, can make a mature face look noticeably more youthful in about 15 seconds of application. I have had women tear up in my chair over this one change because they finally saw themselves in the mirror again, just a more rested and vibrant version. But most women immediately follow up their blush with the one product that undoes everything they just did. And that brings us to number 4, your setting product. This one is going to make some of you uncomfortable because it means putting down something you have probably been reaching for your entire adult life. Setting powder. I know, you have been dusting translucent powder over your T-zone since your 20s. It controlled the shine, it set your makeup, it kept everything from moving. And back then, it worked beautifully because your skin was producing plenty of oil and had the elasticity and bounce to handle a dry, mattifying layer on top. But your skin at 52 or 55 or 60 is not the same skin you had at 25. You do not produce the same amount of oil anymore. You do not have the same bounce and resilience. And when you dust powder over a mature face, it grabs onto every line, every enlarged pore, every bit of texture, and makes it all more visible. It also kills any natural luminosity your skin still has. And that glow, that slight dewiness, is the single biggest thing that makes skin look youthful. When your face looks flat and completely matte, it reads older. Every time. Swap your setting powder for MAC Fix Plus Setting Spray. It locks everything in just as well as powder does, but instead of sitting on top of your skin and dulling everything down, it melts your layers of makeup together and gives you a light, dewy, skin-like finish that keeps your face looking alive and fresh throughout the day. Hold the bottle about 8 inches from your face and give it 2 light mists after you finish your full look. That is all you need. Your blush stays put, your concealer does not budge, and your skin still has that luminous, just moisturized quality that makes people wonder what you changed. Now, we have finally made it to number 5. And I saved this one for last because it is the most important swap on this entire list. It is the one that changes everything else about how your makeup performs, and it is also the one the beauty industry has no real reason to tell you about. Number 5, your foundation. If your primer is the prep and your concealer handles the detail work, then your foundation is the canvas for your entire face. And for women over 50, it is also where things go wrong the fastest. Because most foundations on the market were developed and tested on younger skin. Smooth, firm, even-toned skin that does not have deep smile lines or crepe texture around the eyes or persistent dry patches along the forehead. So when a woman over 40 or 50 applies them, the foundation just sits on top like a layer of paint on an old fence. It does not move with your expressions or breathe with your skin. And within a couple of hours, it is oxidized 2 shades darker, settled into every crease, and turned your face into something that looks stiff and overdone. I have tested more foundations than I can count across 30 years of professional work. Korean beauty brands, high-end department store counters, drugstore formulas, prestige labels from every country. And for mature skin, there is one foundation I keep reaching for because nothing else performs the way it does. It is called Luxe. Luxe is a color-changing foundation. I know that might sound like a gimmick, but stay with me for a moment because this is the part that actually matters for your skin. Traditional foundations force you to guess your shade. You stand under harsh fluorescent drugstore lighting, hold a bottle up to your jawline, pick the closest match, and hope for the best. And even when you get it right in the store, your skin tone shifts with the seasons, with sun exposure, with hormonal changes. So that perfect match from January looks slightly off by April. Luxe removes all of that guesswork. It adapts to your actual skin tone as you blend it in, so there is no mismatched jawline, no orange oxidation creeping in halfway through the day, and no wondering if you picked the wrong shade 3 months ago. But the color matching is not even the part that sold me as a working professional. It is how this foundation sits on mature skin. Where other foundations sink into smile lines and settle into the creases around your mouth and your eyes, Luxe smooths over them. It sits in the skin, not on top of it. It never separates or gets patchy by afternoon. And at the end of a full day, it still looks like your actual skin, just a more even, more luminous, more rested version of it. Your skin on its absolute best day. The kind of finish that makes your sister lean across the dinner table and ask what you have been doing differently. I have put this foundation on hundreds of faces across 3 decades of professional makeup artistry, and it performs the same way every single time. On dry skin, on combination skin, on women in their 50s, their 60s, and their 70s. It will not cake up on you, and it will not turn orange. If you only buy one thing from everything I mentioned today, make it this. Make it Luxe. The link is in the description below, but I do need to tell you, it is only available for 24 hours. After that, it is gone. So if you have been struggling with foundation that oxidizes on you, or settles into your lines by lunch, or just never looks right when someone snaps a candid photo of you in natural light, grab it while it is still there. And one more thing before you go. If you comment the word routine below this video, I will personally send you the exact step-by-step routine I use on my clients for mature skin. This is the same routine that keeps makeup looking fresh and natural for 12 hours or more. Just make sure you are following me first, because if you are not, I have no way to reach you.